Hello everybody, and welcome to another week's reflection in what is the beginning of a new liturgical year, traditionally known as Advent, which translates into something like the waiting or preparing for the expectation of something special as we prepare our hearts for the Christmas festival. And I wish you well on this journey with Mark, the Gospel of Mark this year predominantly. Very simply today, Jesus is the living temple. So no matter who you are, no matter where you are, when you open your heart to Jesus, that is where God will meet you. This is Mark's message in chapter 13 of his Gospel. There's only 3 chapters left in his account, and there are dark times. Approximately around the year that he was writing this Gospel, there had, in 69 Common Era, there had been 4 Roman emperors during the year, political upheaval, and as what's his name? Vespasian was heading to Rome to pick up his crown. His adopted son Titus entered Jerusalem, burnt the temple, destroyed the city, and crucified thousands of Jews. It was this display of force that shocked not just the city of Jerusalem, but I guess sent the fear into the hearts of any who had to face the Roman Empire. So with the Temple of Jerusalem razed to the ground, this was traditionally for the Jews the place where you met God. So without it, what were they to do now? Jerusalem, as you probably know, is shared. The three major faiths share the city and continue to debate over which bit, whose bit is whose, as it were. And that's why, no matter what times we're experiencing, dark or otherwise, Mark's message of Jesus is the living temple is actually good news for us. Because where we are, that's where God can meet us. He talks about staying awake. And the tradition here was that the gatekeeper of a compound was to help protect those inhabitants within it. Much like we've returned to this style of living in our modern age with estates and with apartment blocks, and there's often somebody 24/7 as the gatekeeper, watching people come and go and making sure they have a right to be there. So just as the gatekeeper used to protect a compound or someone's home in the good old days, you and I are to protect our heart. Because if that's where God is meeting us, then you and I need to stay awake to protect all that is good as we prepare, as we create a space to receive God in flesh in this Christmas season once again. It's as simple and as complicated as that this week. And so if we stay awake and open our hearts to God where God meets us, then so does our neighbour. So how can we each encourage each other to create a space, a special space for the divine, for God, and especially for Jesus as we prepare for this Christmas season? I think that's all I want to say this week. I wish you well, and I'll see you next week. See you later.